Far out across the blue Pacific lie Hawaii's enchanted isles. A land of green by friendly hills and black sand beaches washed with creamy surf. Where flowers paint the landscape in a rainbow of color and the trees play soft palm branches. Hawaii, the very name suggests fun and gay activity. But it is also America's most important outpost, crossroads of the Pacific, port of call for ships and airliners of all nations. Once too remote for all but a handful of visitors, today there's a new highway to Hawaii. United Airlines Mainline Airway, which brings these magic islands as close as your next-door neighbor. From 75 mainland cities, United's DC-6 mainliners converge on California, the real starting point of your Hawaiian holiday. As flight time nears, the passengers gather in United's Hawaii room. There, over a cup of coffee or pineapple juice, you exchange goodbyes with friends or look over a cutaway model of the great 55-passenger plane you'll soon be boarding, United's double-decked mainliner Stratocruiser. You observe its spacious luxury, the flight deck, the forward compartment with berths for four, large dressing rooms, main passenger cabin, galley, and spiral staircase to the lower deck lounge, rear cabin and private stateroom. In a few moments comes the welcome announcement that the plane is ready for departure and you're Honolulu bound. The captain gives the ready signal to the ground crew. The four 3,500 horsepower engines are started, and the Stratocruiser moves majestically away from the gate, dwarfing the terminal buildings and the waving crowd. Fully loaded at 70 tons, the plane climbs into the air, soaring over the city, the green The captain, veteran of thousands of flying hours, the flight engineer, who carefully monitors engine performance, the first officer, who relieves at the controls, and the navigator, who pinpoints the ship's position with the latest electronic aids to navigation. About 2 hours before arrival time, the passengers enjoy a wonderfully appetizing buffet laid out on the serving counter. Cold meats of all kinds, delicious salads, ice cream, and wafers prepared by continental chefs in United's own flight kitchen. The captain announces over the public address system that land has been sighted, and the passengers look out eagerly for the first view of Diamond Head. The beautiful shoreline unfolds, the green hills and the curve of Waikiki Beach. The city of Honolulu itself, a fair haven indeed, as your mainliner Stratocruiser settles down for a graceful landing a few hours from the mainland. As your plane taxis up to the terminal, you're greeted by the friendly aloha emblazoned on the tower. And by leis of fresh flowers, together with music and native dances, which are part of a traditional Hawaiian welcome. In the sparkling sunshine of your first Hawaiian morning, Waikiki Beach is just as you've always pictured it. There's the Royal Hawaiian Hotel and the famous Outrigger Canoe Club, where a crew of stalwart beach boys takes us for a sightseeing trip along this crescent of white sand, curved like a pleasant smile between Diamond Head and downtown Honolulu. Passing by the Royal Hawaiian and Halekulani hotels, we cruise along to the sound of native voices, lifted in a war chant of old Hawaii. Far out to sea, great rollers are forming, and poised on their snowy crests are the surf riders. The beach boys cry, "Kainalu Nui," big waves, and the beach springs into a whirl of activity. Surfboards and canoes are swiftly launched, some by novices at this ancient art. Others manned by crews of professional beach boys. Smooth teamwork enables them to keep the heavy canoe poised on the wave crest as it leaps toward shore in a cloud of flying spray. A big wave approaches, and the surf riders paddle madly. Then, caught up by the wave's motion, they mount their plunging board, shifting and treading as lightly as a ballet dancer. Look, there's a couple doing a shoulder mount, and another riding double, all the while plunging through boiling surf at 30 miles an hour. Hotel life at Waikiki is luxurious and gay. You lunch informally or stroll out on the lawn to admire the grace and beauty of the hula, exotic native dance of old Hawaii.
pua rose manie, e pua ala ona ona. Aloha ia no o maui, no noa o Bilandi, ue hika pua rose manie.
One of the highlights of your visit is the 90-mile motor tour around Oahu in a comfortable gray line limousine. Stopping frequently at various points of interest en route, such as the Upside Down Falls, whose waters are blown upwards by the wind. Climbing through a notch in the mountains, we come suddenly to the famous Nu'uanu Pali, over whose 1,200-foot precipice King Kamehameha drove thousands of warriors to complete his conquest of the island. Far below are broad, cultivated areas in rich shades of green, and in the distance is the deep blue of the Pacific and the white line of breakers along the reef. The steep Pali Road descends by a series of switchbacks to a region of lush tropical growth. Honolulu, on the other side of the mountain, seems far away as you enter a new world of quiet beauty, a land of small farms and quaint villages where every acre is richly productive. Tropical fruits grow here, such as bananas and papayas, which soon become your favorite breakfast delicacy. And always in view is the restless ocean, lapping gently against sheltered beaches, or crashing down in booming thunder on the shore. Honolulu is rich in history. Here's Iolani Palace and the judicial building dating from the time of the monarchy, with its bronze statue of Kamehameha the Great, who unified the islands and founded the Hawaiian Kingdom. The glory of these ancient days is commemorated during the colorful ceremonies of Aloha Week, held in October each year. Highlight of these ceremonies is a stately Makahiki pageant, reenacting the ancient Hawaiian festival of Thanksgiving and blessing of the crop. The beautiful costumes are faithful reproductions of the priceless originals which are preserved in the Bishop Museum. The Makahiki was a 23-day celebration given over to feasting and dancing. To the rhythmic sound of the pa'ipu, or hollow calabash, the ancient hulas are performed. The ilili, in which the dancers click smooth stones like castanets, and the kala'au, or stick hula. Another feature of Aloha Week is an exhibit of lei making, using fresh flowers in beautiful combinations, or tiny feathers sewn together to form lovely iridescent patterns handed down from ancient Polynesia. Many Hawaiian luau's, or native feasts, are given during this celebration. The young pig is ceremoniously laid in its bed of red-hot stones and roasted to tender perfection. Fingers take the place of forks, even in the poi bowl. Poi, made from taro root, is an acquired taste and greatly relished by natives and the real kamainas, or old-timers. Honolulu is a modern American city. This is Bishop Street, financial and business center, and this is the imposing City Hall. The modern trolley buses bear strange signs, and even the theaters have Hawaiian names, but occasionally a familiar sign reminds you that you're still in the USA. Honolulu has many fine restaurants that Lau Yi Chai Dainty Chinese serving maids load your table with exotic dishes. If you're brave, you may try to master the art of eating with chopsticks. But a shrimp can be surprisingly stubborn at times. Oops, dropped it again. Once more. Ah, he made it. Honolulu's residential section is a riot of color during most seasons of the year. The streets are lined with flowering trees, such as the royal poinciana, which puts forth a mass of brilliant blossom. And everywhere, blooming in infinite variety, is the hibiscus, favorite flower of the island. But the outstanding difference between Honolulu and other American cities is its racial blending. 2/3 of its citizens are non-Caucasian. These races, and the Hawaiians also, have freely intermarried, producing a happy brood of brown-faced children, who nevertheless are thoroughly American. But the ancient ways of Hawaii are also part of their inheritance, finding expression in graceful native dances. The Glee Club girls at Roosevelt High know the latest hit tunes, but they also know and love Hawaiian music. In the heart of Honolulu is the University of Hawaii, with its fine buildings, excellent laboratory facilities, and its rabid crowd of football fans. These Husky lads have played the game from childhood, usually in their bare feet. And the girls are adept in leading a long cheer for the boys in green. Over 90% of the world's pineapples are grown and packed in Hawaii. Pineapple slips are planted in double rows through long strips of tar paper, which conserve moisture and cut down weeds. 2 years later, the crop is harvested by the aid of automatic machinery and trucked to the cannery. This is the Hawaiian Pineapple Company's cannery in Honolulu, where the pineapples are conveyed to intricate machines which peel, core, and slice the ripe fruit. Trained workers then pack the perfect slices into cans, which are quickly sealed and boxed for shipment to the markets of the world. Landmark of Honolulu Harbor is the beautiful Aloha Tower, which welcomes the ships of all nations. On boat day, to the waterfront are lined with lei sellers, offering their fragile wares, which are presented to departing friends with many alohas of farewell. As the ship passes Diamond Head on its 4.5-day journey to the mainland, we turn eagerly to the next stage of our island adventure. Vacation in Hawaii is complete without a visit to the other islands. Hawaiian Airlines provides fast and frequent service, which has been universally adopted by the travel-loving islanders. Leaving Honolulu Airport, the plane heads northwestward for the brief flight to Kauai, the Garden Isle. Kauai is the site of Captain Cook's first landing in 1778. Its chief town is Lihue, and its harbor bears the delightful name of Nauwili. Clothed in rich shades of green from shoreline to summit, there's no fairer sight in the world than Kauai, a gem of beauty rising from the sea. Its rugged coastline is backed by broad areas of cultivation, broken here and there by tiny sugar mill towns, and culminating mountain mass of Waialeale, over 5,000 feet high. Following our cruise along the coast, we land at Lihue Airport, where a comfortable limousine waits to take us to Waimea Canyon, Hawaii's tropical Grand Canyon. Along flower-bordered roads, we climb to the canyon's brink and look down into a 3,000-foot gorge whose walls are covered with lush vegetation, broken by streams and waterfalls leaping into the depths below. The descending highway winds through vast fields of sugarcane, Hawaii's principal industry, whose annual output exceeds 1 million tons. Short lengths of cane are planted by highly specialized machines. The crop is irrigated and fertilized by scientific methods. At harvest time, the dry leaves are burned off. The succulent cane is harvested by giant push rakes and loaded into huge trucks, which carry it to grinding mills. Here, the juice is made into raw sugar and loaded aboard for further refinement on the mainland. In sharp contrast is the beautiful Hanalei section on the island's opposite side, where primitive native house, which is protected by an ingenious mechanical system. A taro patch for the daily poi. And an inexhaustible supply of fish for the ting. Our island hopping tour continues with the Valley Isle. Maui is a land of high mountains, rugged cliffs, and broad valleys. Its beauty is unspoiled, and its hospitality is famous throughout the territory. On the east side of the island is Hotel Hanamaui, whose low buildings, shaded by broad verandas, are set in the midst of a tropical garden. Here we're ushered into a little private world of peace and relaxation. Every luxury is provided in a setting of tropical beauty, and good living is of prime consideration. Time at Hana slips by in an easy cycle of riding to the native village. Such beauty spots as the Owl Valley and its famous needles. For the energetic, there are games of all kinds. Or you can spend lazy hours on the private beach, watching surf riders skim the waves to shore. Most famous of Maui's many attractions is the 10,000-foot summit of Haleakala. This great dormant crater, largest in the world, is 21 miles in circumference. Sure-footed horses carry visitors to the floor of this great pit where they explore the lava formations, volcanic caves, and giant cinder cones. Sunrise or sunset from the crater rim is one of nature's grandest spectacles. Hawaii, referred to locally as the Big Island, is nearly twice as large as all the other islands put together. The approach to Hawaii is along the beautiful Hamakua coast. Hilo, its principal city, is about 200 miles from Honolulu. Deplaning at Hilo's modern airport, you stop to purchase leis of native orchids before taking a tour of this fascinating island, stopping to admire the view of Hilo Harbor and lofty Mauna Kea. In this tropical climate, flowers bloom everywhere. Gardens of native orchids higher than your head, and rare cultured varieties as well. Anthuriums, whose waxy blossoms are highly prized, bird of paradise flowers, and the spectacular torch ginger, aflame with color. Near the entrance of Hawaii National Park is the giant fern forest. Only a short distance from the barren desolation of Kilauea Crater, home of the fire goddess, Madame Pele. The entire area is scarred with old lava flows, leaving mysterious caves and tunnels in many places. Usually inactive, the volcano bursts into violent eruption at times. Flaming rivers rush down the mountainside, and gushing lava fountains do a weird fire dance across a lake of flame. Descending the mountain, we approach the lovely Kona coast. Here is Kona Inn, which soon captures your heart with its atmosphere of luxurious ease and contentment. Everywhere you look, there are flowers, massed in hedges along the road and hanging in great sprays from the tree branches. Here, too, grows the famous Kona coffee, providing an industry operated almost entirely by the native population. The simplest methods are employed in harvesting, drying, and shipping the fragrant beans, which are favored by connoisseurs for their distinctive flavor. A short distance from the inn is Hononau, ancient city of refuge, behind whose lava wall fugitives found sanctuary even from the wrath of the king. Life in this peaceful village has changed little from the ancient days. The land is fertile, the climate is mild, and there are always plenty of fish for the net. Let the Haole, white man, worry about the troubled world. Here, all is peace. And here at lovely Kona, we come to the end of our Hawaiian holiday. A holiday filled with memories of new scenes and new adventures in this paradise of the Pacific. Thanks to the speed of the modern airliner, Hawaii is hours away from any part of the mainland, and all its wonders can now be enjoyed by travelers who can spare as little as 2 weeks for an unforgettable mainliner vacation.